What's going on, fishing buddies? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the PB Shed. I'm gonna start doing little quick videos in here, guys, going over tackle, rig tying, things like that. But today I'm gonna go over my new gear that I've been beefing up for the last month. Let's get it out there. I can't catch a fish, guys. There's been a lot of just like little windows for the past week that we can actually get out there and fish because of the weather. I'm targeting these windows, I'm getting out there, and nothing. I launched 2 different spots to kayak this morning. I got up about 4 a.m. this morning, launched about an hour west from my house. It was a little sketchy right at launch, but I decided to go ahead and commit. I mean, an hour's a long drive. Got out there and the wind and current were brutal. Saw some birds diving like a half-mile away. So I kicked her into high gear, chased down these birds. Got there was pops everywhere like I had hit the honey hole. First cast, sail cat. So it's like I was in a school of sail cats, guys. Took it back, on my way home, decided to launch again. First cast, sail cat. They're everywhere. There were sail cats everywhere out there today. The surf hasn't been much better, guys. It's been rough out there. So I thought today I would go over my new gear that I've been building. If you've been following along with the channel, you know that I've shut down Perdido Blane guide business. So with shutting all that down, I've been selling off most of my gear. I ran decent gear for my guides as far as like the kayak stuff. The surf fishing stuff I ran all Ninjas, and we're just mimicking that setup at Beach Bum Outdoors. But as far as the kayak stuff, I ran decent gear. But it had been used and abused over the years. I didn't need half of it. I got, I think, 8 rod and reel combos over here in the corner that I'm trying to sell. Sold off my kayaks, still got a canoe on the market. But I've been taking some of that money that came for selling the kayaks and like really getting some gear that I've always wanted, but just never really wanted to pull the trigger on buying them. But I get a sweet discount working at Beach Bum Outdoors, so I'm taking advantage of that. And really today, guys, I want to go over too why I keep going back to Penn. When I started the changeover, when I started beefing up the new gear, you know, I have all these options working at that store. There's all those reels in the glass cases. And I played with a lot of them, guys. You know, I kept it real. Like, I wasn't looking at no Van stalls. Only people like Frisky buy Van stalls. But I was looking at some higher dollar reels. So I had my sights set on the Daiwa Saltus, the MQ series. So the blue reel with the big power knob, they're running about $300 a piece for like the inshore stuff, the 2500s, the 3000s, the 4000s. And I had them in my hand. I made my decision. I mean, I had them pulled from the back, going to the braid station, about to braid them up. And then I backed out. And this is after like a week, guys. This is after a week of going back and forth, I backed out because Penn has never let me down, guys. I have used and abused those reels. My clients have used and abused, dropped them in the water. And I have some of my original Penns, these little 2500s, that I've had since I started kayak fishing 7 years ago. I still have those original reels. And they still work. They don't sound as good. But they're functionable. I mean, I held on to them. But what I did do is change up the series a bit with the Penn. So today I want to go over my new offshore and inshore kayak setups. Let's go over the inshore stuff first. So I've greatly reduced the amount of rods that I'm keeping for personal stuff. I've broken it down for my inshore with 4 basic rods. First up on the list, the Battle DX 2500 10-pound true braid. The Battle series, guys, I mean, I cannot stress enough that this series has never let me down. It's a step above that Fierce, not quite the Spin Fisher. Price point's good. It's all the reel I need for what I'm doing back there in the bays. And I got this one pinned with a Fenwick Elite Medium Light. I've been eyeballing these Fenwicks since I started working at the shop, and they feel great. They're a good little rod, guys. There's all kind of different price points with them. I think this guy was around $150. 6'9", so I like those shorter rods on the kayak, even the shorter butts. Every inch you can get on that kayak is good. This holds a 1/16 to a 5/8 lure weight, so this is my trout rod, guys. This is what I'm keeping twitch baits tied onto at all times. This thing casts like a dream. I've used it about 3 or 4 times now, and it slings them, y'all. Great lightweight rod. I've seen the Fenwicks around. I just never really paid them much attention. But again, now that I'm like actually working inside of a tackle shop, I got a lot of time to pick up things, shake them, wiggle rods, and play with them. And I just kept going back to this one. It's a great rod. So that's my trout setup. For my redfish setup, I went with the St. Croix. Never owned a St. Croix, always wanted to, just never really pulled the trigger. They're a higher dollar rod, but again, that discount helps. And this is the St. Croix Mojo series. So the Mojo series is the kayak series. Again, you got the shorter butt. This is a 7-foot fast action, 1/8 to a 1/2 ounce lure weight. So a beefier rod. Again, this is my redfish rod. This is what I'll target those big boys with. And because I'm targeting the bigger fish, this is where the Slammer series comes in. So instead of putting like a 4,000 battle on this, I can spend a little extra money and get a lot of reel in a smaller package, the Slammer series. So I got a 2500 Slammer on here, 15-pound true braid, and this 2500 Slammer packs 20 pounds of drag. So you're getting a lot of butt, so to speak, in a small profile. Again, every inch counts. And then, you know, on the kayak, casting over and over again, that 4,000 is going to get bulky. It's going to get heavy, guys. So this is my second newest setup, the St. Croix 7-foot 2500 pin Slammer. And then for my other 2 rods, I bought pin battles also. So I have my 6.3 custom rod that I've ran for about a year now. I'm keeping that on board. And then my 7-foot dagger. With the new setup for the offshore stuff, I need some electronics. I've never had electronics before, guys. 7 years of kayak fishing, just never felt the need to put any on. When I do go offshore, I go with some buddies and I basically just follow them around. But not everybody wants to go when I want to go. Not everybody wants me to tag along. So I decided to get some myself. So I got the Lawrence Reveal Hook 5. I did some light research when looking for the fish finder. I mean, I didn't put too much into it. I saw this being talked about in the Salt Strong community. I'd seen a few posts on it. I'd seen the actual unit on a few guys' kayaks. So I felt like it was a good product. I went ahead and got it. It was in my price range. So I got the Lawrence Hook Reveal strapped on with some Yak Attack accessories. Here, I'll go show you guys now. This might be a little hard to see, guys. I got every light on in the garage. It's just so nasty outside. But this is where I got the fish finder hooked up, right here to the right side of my seat on the kayak. Yak Attack mount here. And then I got my cell block, Yak Attack cell block, which is a battery box. Pretty nice, fits right on the track mount. This thing slides open so you can charge a battery when needed. And that's gonna keep it watertight. So they have these little arms here to stick off to wrap all your excess cords. Obviously these guys will plug into the fish finder. Old Town has a spot for the transducer underneath, and then I just ran the wire right up through this scuffer. I had it out on the water today, like I said, and just playing with it basically, trying to figure it out. It's fairly simple, nothing too much about it. I mean, I'm basically using it for depth. All right, these storms, man. This has been, I'm telling you guys, it's been going on for weeks. Just constant rain and lightning. Moving into the offshore setups, guys, I went with another Fenwick. This is the HMG Inshore series, but it's a beefier rod that I'm going to use for offshore. This will hold up to 2.5 ounces lure weight, 7-foot, medium heavy. Again, I went with a Slammer, this time a 4500 40-pound true braid. So this is what I'm going to use at casting, basically. Casting at blow-ups, jacks, cobias, things like that. I wanted something that was fairly lightweight, but that can sling a mile. Some drawbacks to it. This is not a kayak series rod, so you have like your standard longer butt for the 7-footer. It is 7 foot, you know. I like a little bit shorter rod on the kayak. But talking with Scott Kennedy, Kayaking Kennedy, he told me, he's like, man, I use 7-footers, so when that fish is fighting you, you can get it out in front of the kayak and get it around the front. I'm used to dealing like with inshore fish, trout and reds, where I can pretty much handle those guys. I can put them where I want them to go. But he's right. I'm going to be dealing with a lot bigger species. So because he has a lot more experience in this than I do, I took his suggestion. So I went with all 7-footers actually. So that's the first setup. The 7-foot Fenwick, 4500 Slammer, 40-pound braid. And this is going to be my Slinging That Blow-Ups kayak offshore rod. So let me tell you about Mason Holmes. Mason Holmes works at Beach Bum Outdoors. He's actually one of our guides. Younger fella, I think Mason might be 18 years old. Very knowledgeable fisherman for his age. Mason's a drug dealer, y'all. Mason will sell you stuff you don't need. Why you want to buy that $10 stuff when you can get this $50 stuff here and it's a lot better? So I fell into Mason's trap. Mason has set me up with 2 identical bottom droppers basically. I got 2 7-foot Shimano Teres, I believe that's how you pronounce it, and these are on conventionals. I've never owned a conventional. I've rarely used them. I did a lot of stuff with Larry from Twisted Palm Salty Adventures last summer, where I was bottom dropping with conventionals, but never like really worked on them or really kept up to how they operate. I was just like drop, strike, that's it. So Mason, being who he is, has set me up with 2 Penn Fathom 2 15s. Tiny little reel, but again, like the Slammer, it packs a lot of butt, guys. Again, with the 7-footer, took Scott's advice so I can get these guys out in front of the kayak when they run on me. Super lightweight, guys. This is not what I expected, like a offshore bottom dropping for snapper, things like that, set up to feel like. The ones I was using last summer deckhanding with Larry, you know, they were bulky, man. They were bulky, they were heavy. But they were like guide setups, you know, when you're running guides, when you're running charters, you can buy nice stuff, but you're not going to drop a lot of money on the guide gear. It's going to get dropped, it's going to get broken, it's going to get abused, people don't operate it right. Things happen. Kids. So when I got my hands on this, so I was actually going to get 3 setups, right? So I was going to get the caster, and then I was going to get a jigging, and then like a bottom dropping. But I wanted to be able to troll too. So what Mason's basically done is he got me all 3 in one setup. So I can jig with this, I can troll with this, and I can bottom drop with it. He told me with this Fathom 2 that I could play around with like slow pitching because of the style of the reel, but I don't even know what that is. I mean, I know what it is, but I've never done it. So like, first things first, Mason, let me learn how to bottom drop. Gotta learn how to bottom drop first. So 2 of these, man, I'm super proud of these guys. I can't wait to get these out there. They're, like I said, they feel great. I bought rod leashes. I've never had a rod leash in my life. But after dropping the money on this stuff, I was like, that was the first purchase I did. It's like 15 bucks. I bought 4 of them. Love this little guys, man. Super small, super compact, and just pack a lot of power. And then with my surf fishing gear, guys, it was all in great shape. I just kept it the way it is. I switched up some reels. I put a 3500 slammer on my 8'6" Ninja, and I put a 4500 slammer on the bummy stick. Then I took those battles that were originally on those, and I put them on my 11-footers, and got rid of some cheaper reels that I had on there that I was running guides with. So I'm pinned out. Again, I couldn't break away from it. I tried to break away from Penn, y'all. I really did. And I have no affiliation with them. I've never talked to Penn. They have no idea who I am. They're just a good product. I do have a custom rod coming from Frisky, a 6'9" inshore rod he's making me. I might put that Saltist on there, that little 2500, that blue one with the big knob. I mean, it's a great reel. But, it's not going to match the rod. Got a special theme for this rod, and that blue's not going to go well. But the Slammer will match it.